you look at yourself and you see some flaws that you didn't choose. You don't control them. You will simply burn with them. But everyone around you reassures to you that they don't matter, that they don't define you. And so they simply are pushed deep in the back of your mind while you think that you will forget them forever. But when you try to go out in the world and achieve success, live a life that you want, imitate the success that you see other people having around you, those flaws seem to always pop back up to show you that you're not the same as others. This is somehow stopping you. But you don't get disencouraged that easily. And so you set out to go after your dream life no matter what. You say to yourself, man, I won't let that disencourage me. And so you go and you choose many things. Make many decisions. Decisions to learn new skills, to work hard. But there is one thing you don't choose. And that is the courage that you are born with. But hey, they shouldn't matter, right? They shouldn't matter. But no matter how you try to mix those things up and hide them away, you try to go around saying, hey, look at all the hard work I'm doing. When you look closely, you always seem to find a mark. And what does that mark indicate? Well, this mark shows that it doesn't matter if you try once, or twice, or 3 times, or 4 times, or 5 times. You always seem to end back up where you started. And that's when you realize that hard work, how many times you tried, it never mattered. What mattered is what you look like. And so I've come to realize that I was simply born too ugly for a good life. And so the only choice that I have left is to ascend, or I might as well not exist. So what up guys, hope you enjoyed the creative magic trick intro, my G's. But anyway, on our journey to ascend, we're starting new protocols and we're starting minoxidil. And now you might be saying, well, you know what? The hairline's fine, why would you need minoxidil? Well, just like Mr. Patrick Bateman said, you can always be thinner, look better. And so, we're gonna hope that this improves the hairline a bit, even though it's not completely cooked. And also we can use it on eyebrows, which are actually quite fine with me. Like my eyebrows are not too bad. But you know, you can always get better than that. So let's begin the use of minoxidil. Let's actually get my fucking hair back with a brush. Cause this fucking... Bro, I would need like proper... I may look like a fucking Teletubby, but bro, whatever to ascend, bro. I'll gladly look like a Teletubby for a moment if it means I'll ascend in the long run. So basically what you do, the instructions on this said that you just put 6 pumps one at a time and throw that bitch on the hairline or wherever you want it. I guess if you want to grow pubic hairs, you can grow more of those as well, but I personally don't really need that. I need more of the head hairs up here. What was that? 3 pumps now? So let's put the last 3 just all at a time. It said 1 at a time, I think, but I don't know if it should even matter that much. I'm quite far away from the mirror as well, so like I might fuck this. But it is one of those things that you're supposed to do twice a day. It's consistency that counts. One thing doesn't really matter. Like one day is not gonna make it or break it. So it's let it just like use this shit consistently and hope for the best. I think overall that should be quite good now. So I think now we got some of the minoxidil in the hairline. I mean, you can't really see it or anything. But next up we're gonna try to do a bit of the eyebrows. And for that you don't want to spray this here because you don't want to get this in your eyes. Because if you get them in your eyes, that's a big no. That's like, dynamite in your asshole, bro. Comparable. So we're gonna do just one under the fingertips right there. And then spread it on the eyebrow. I don't think the eyebrows need a lot, so I'm just going to do 1 pump per eyebrow. And then let's do the other one. I mean, this might look super fucking goofy and weird, but hey, we're ascending, bro. We're ascending. Holy. Boom, and we're done. It's that simple. Minoxidil, it's one of those things that you don't need a prescription for. At least here. Super fucking basically proven, tested science and that, bro. I'm a scientist doing scientific experiments. I'm full-time scientist nowadays. I'm just doing scientific research on my body. All kinds of N=1 studies into all kinds of substances and research chemicals to, for science, of course. No ulterior motives or anything. But that's for the minoxidil tutorial. Not really even a tutorial, I'm just showing what I'm doing. But yeah.
A few moments later.
Yeah, so this is what man does every night. Man's just coming, miring himself in the mirror. Morbid obesity alert. trying to fucking not double. You thought I was gonna say double? We're gonna triple the fucking dose, bro. Just kidding, don't triple the dose. Reta compounds over time, which means that you just stick with low doses. After weeks the shit builds up and compounds in your body, and then you can mog. See you tomorrow. Yes, I'm wearing the exact same clothes as yesterday. I mean, I worked hard to build up the pheromones in these clothes, so why would I now throw them in the washer and waste it all? So that's pretty stupid. But anyway, I had this actually quite brutal thought today. Quite brutal. So I'm warning you. This might be quite brutal. But basically, this happened a while ago. While at the club, this woman just basically came up and sat on my lap. And now that I look back on it, I think about it, I'm like, would I have let her done that if she was obese and ugly? And it's like, fuck no! I would have probably pushed her away, like, fuck off, what the fuck, give me some personal space, bitch! But because her halo was strong enough, I didn't mind it at all. I was like, oh, this is great. Go ahead, sit there, I don't give a fuck. Actually, I like it. And you know, a lot of people will be like, oh man, well that's just cause you're fucking shallow, bro. You only care about... But bro, let's be fucking real, bro. Everyone cares about looks. I'm just fucking brave enough to admit it, bro. I'm just brave enough to say that, yeah, bro, your halo is what determines kinda how I treat you. Like shit. Like, for you to win me over if you're sub 5, like, of course it's gonna require a lot more fucking work than if you're fucking true Stacy. And it's like, oh, well, you're just a fucking shallow man, bro, you know? No, I'm just a fucking honest human being, bro. Everyone else out here saying, I'm not shallow, I don't care about looks, I don't care about this, I don't care about... But yes, you fucking do, bro. Everyone does. You know? It's just that most people, you know, they fear the social repercussions of saying it out loud, and so they don't. And they lie. But if you actually look at their actions, they absolutely care about the halo of a person, right? And you know, of course, people will be like, oh, but you know, it's just men, you know. You men are so selfish and so shallow that you only care about looks. You don't care about nothing else, bro. Ugh. But let's be fucking real, bro. Even with women, looks matter so much. Like, women care about looks. Like, think about it. If a woman is walking in a library and she drops some books and some ugly dude goes and helps her, like, she's probably thinking, oh my god, why did this ugly dude help me? Oh my god, he probably has ulterior motives. He probably wants my number. What a fucking weirdo. Ew. But if Chad helps her pick up the books, all of a sudden she's thinking, oh, chivalry is not dead. This is just like in the movies. Finally, my dream comes true. Oh, please take my number. Because he has the fucking halo. And the more you fucking think about it, the more you're just like, man, if you're good looking, everything will be seen as a positive. And conversely, if you're bad looking, everything will be seen as a negative. Even if you try to help another person, like pick up some books that they dropped, it's seen as a negative somehow. Oh, he probably has ulterior motives. He's a weirdo. Why would he do that? He's just a pure-hearted, good human being trying to help another human being. He's being virtuous, moral. He's doing what everyone says people should do, yet he's being punished for it. Like, it's so brutal. It's so fucking brutal. And the sad thing is that this probably won't change, you know? Like, for example, I know that the halo effect exists. I know that I care about looks. Yet, it's just subconscious that you still treat people differently based on how they look, right? Just because you know of a psychological bias doesn't mean that you're immune to it. Like, people are out here pretending, oh, I know what confirmation bias is, therefore I'm immune to it. No, you're not. There's no scientific evidence at all showing that just because you know of a bias, somehow it affects you less. And the same is with the halo effect, right? And so this is why it's so important to actually care about your looks. It's not because your looks should, in some perfect moral world, determine your quality of life. Like, of course it shouldn't. Your actions should. Who you are deep down. Do you have a pure heart or not? That should matter. But in the current world that we exist, that's just not the case. And so to improve your looks, it's just gonna improve your life. And there's no amount of good heart that is going to save you from the halo. Or more so, save you from the lack of halo. And so that's the brutal thought of the day, boys. You know, good morning, guys. But hey, this is of course just food for thought, you know, not science facts, just hypothetical, philosophical thinkings, food for thought, guys. Not facts, just thoughts, you know. But whole shit, if a woman has a strong enough halo, she can do whatever the fuck she wants, bro. Like, dude, I probably shouldn't say that. Boom, 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 boom. So, welcome back to the Looksmaxx laboratory, aka my bathroom. And so, next up, we're not doing anything new. We're just doing a bit of the skincare. But what I wanted to talk about is why you should Looksmaxx. And it doesn't need to be anything very complicated if you think about it. If you just think about like very basic things like having a woman smile at you when you walk down the street. A lot of times something like that, something very small, can literally make your day. And well, if something like that can make your day, why wouldn't you want it to happen as often as possible? And well, how do you do that? By Looksmaxxing, of course. Because she's not smiling at you because you said something funny. You literally said nothing. The only reason she's smiling at you is because she likes the way that you look. I mean, she happened today. I went to the store and one of the employees was not even a cashier, so it's not like I went to the fucking checkout and that person smiled at me. It was just a random fucking worker in the middle of the store, looked at me, smiled, said hello, even though she didn't have to. And it's experiences like that that not only, make your days better, they just overall improve the quality of your life. And so, if you want a better life with more positive interactions with other human beings, you gotta Looksmaxx, bro. There's not really an option. Like either you're going to Looksmaxx or you're going to be left behind and you're gonna live a subpar life. Because there truly is no downside to being better looking, but there are about 1 fucking billion upsides. Which means that anyone who isn't Looksmaxxing is quite fucking stupid. And that's just kind of an objective fact, because why wouldn't you do everything in your power to live the best life possible? And that of course includes becoming better looking, because being better looking has clear benefits. And so, just like with everything, you should do whatever gives you the best life absolutely possible. Right? No one's living this life to live the quarter best life or the half best life. Everyone wants to live the absolute best life that they can, and that means doing everything from, of course, learning social skills, coming up with a few funny jokes that you can tell people, going and having experiences so that you have stories to tell, getting in shape, learning all kind of skills to further your career, taking risks to further your career, doing cool shit. But it also includes Looksmaxxing. And so, Looksmaxx, my G's, Looksmaxx. And like that, we just did a fucking Looksmaxx. We just did skincare and it's improved my skin. So, we now did the skincare, and the point truly is that you should fucking Looksmaxx, bro. Like, look at me. Like, I know that I'm fucking disgustingly ugly, and I know that that's the reason why, I barely had any success in my life. Like, I've never really succeeded at anything. I've never really had anything, worthy to speak about. I have no glory, no fucking victories, nothing, right? And I know that it's because of how I look. When you're ugly like I am, people just don't really like you that much. But I notice it in my life that every increment that I look better, my life gets better. There's like a direct fucking correlation, bro. Like, I didn't used to even have people look at me like I was a human. Nobody looked at me like I deserved human rights. Not a single human looked at me like I was worthy of the fucking oxygen that I am breathing. Yet now that I've, had a tiny ascension, I look a bit better than I used to. At least now I can have some people around me that are not disgusted, who don't literally vomit in their mouth because I walked past them on the street. Right? And so the moment I started looking a tiny bit better, and yeah, I know I'm not fucking Chad, bro. I'm not fucking good looking. I'm still ugly. But at least I'm not as ugly as I was before. Back then, nobody fucking liked me. Back then, nobody thought I had the right to life. At least now, people can view me as fucking human. Right? At least now I can walk down the street and just like today, a woman can smile at me. A woman can look at me and give me an IOI, an indication of interest, right? Like all of a sudden, my entire life changed because I simply look better, right? And let's not exclude all the other things. Like sure, you can learn all the other things as well, and you should. Like I said, you should learn social skills, you should learn to be funny, you should be charismatic, be brave and confident and, have all the skills necessary. But you should also fucking Looksmaxx, because it makes everything that much easier, right? That's the point. Before, for me to have one friend, I needed to do 1 million times more than I'm doing now to get a new friend. And what's the difference? I look better. So people want to be more around me. And so it's like, it's just fucking nature, bro. Like, it's not something I control. Like, it's not like I wish the world to be this way. But I accept that this is how the world is. Instead of deluding myself and trying to live in a fantasy of looks don't matter and then live a horrible shit life because I never just accepted the truth that, I need to fucking get better. I need to improve. I need to Looksmaxx, bro. Truly. There is no higher return on investment thing that I've done in my entire life except getting better looking. And so I encourage you to do the same. That's the life lesson. The life lesson is to Looksmaxx. Because you should want to have the best life possible, and that is only possible if you look as good as possible. And so Looksmaxx, brothers, Looksmaxx. If you feel like you're invisible, that nobody likes you, it's probably not because you're a bad person. In fact, you know that you're not a bad person. Even me, back in the fucking days when it seems like nobody fucking liked me, I wasn't a bad person. I knew that I had a pure heart. I knew that I was virtuous. But nobody gave a single fucking shit. They only cared about what you look like. Because whether you're good or bad is not what people see. They simply see what they perceive you to be. So if people look at you and you're good looking, they will perceive that, oh, he's good, no matter what they do. And if you're ugly, then they will perceive that you're a bad person, no matter what you do. And so being a good person won't stop you from being treated like a bad one. In fact, the only way to stop other people treating you like you're a bad person is by looking good. Fucking stupid, but true. And so instead of trying to combat the fucking nature of the universe, you should try to combat yourself, overcome yourself, and simply accept the hard things that you must do to improve. And so on that note, go and Looksmaxx. See how your life improves. With every increment that you get better looking, your life also gets better. And so, as always, Go out there, stay disciplined, chase your dreams, and have a fantastic day.